Hey everyone that's tuning in. Just gonna get some coffee going here. This will be a coffee infused stream. Right. So yeah, we're just gonna retest. How's the audio sound? Hey Snarks. I mean, hey TDA Gaming. Yep. Yeah, I'm still waking up. This is a new audio filter and setup. I'm using the NVIDIA broadcast. So if it sounds really loud, let me know and I can turn the mic volume down or adjust music or whatever. Anything sounds bad, just let me know. The flying hat, thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, that might have been a little ballsy on my part. I probably should have done that, but it's okay. We survived. You know, the more that I think about it, this card kind of represents, in a way, represents the channel success. So I do need to take care of it, because if I broke this card, I'd have to start with a new test card. And yeah, I could get access to the same exact model through one of my friends. I'm sure I could trade a 3080 for a 3070 Ti and get the same model, but it would still be a different card, and I'd still have to redo all the testing because that's how it works. Nothing's the same from card to card. I shouldn't say nothing, but I wouldn't trust the results just testing another 3070 Ti against this one. In fact, if you guys go back and look at the video where I tested out using thermal paste on thermal pads on my friend's card, and then I upgraded it to UX Pro and PTM. So on that card, I actually had to use a lower memory overclock for testing because that card couldn't handle the plus 1100 megahertz like this one can. Silicon lottery, you know, sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. Still a good card. Still can be overclocked, just not quite as high as this one. And I could push this more, but I'm actually going to just keep it consistent and not really like torture the memory more than I already have been. Obviously a lot with, especially with the Kapow algorithm when I test that. So, all right, so this is A7000 we're looking at here. Yeah, I'm going to change the light color for a second here. In there. It's gonna, seems like too much light. On my screen, maybe it's my monitor. I might not have a color accurate monitor. I should probably look into that, but a minty fresh green color. A pastel. Okay. I didn't really get fully set up here. Let's get some of these things out. I don't know. Do I have enough I feel like I'm running low on paste spreaders. I should buy like 100 pack, you know. It's not like I can clean them with isopropyl and reuse them. It's just open the container. I'm just going to double check that these are clean. I should have done this before the stream. Kind of got to a late start this morning. Went to bed around 3. after excuse me, after switching the tests. That's the thing about this testing. It's 2-hour chunks, starting with etc hash, going to firmark for the second test. And if the thermals are decent on both of those and safe, then I go to doing the kapow, and I will make those charts available once I get them all populated with the data, which is good for you guys because you'll see firmark results as well, which is more valid for gamers. People that are familiar with mining know that what kind of temperatures are reasonable for VRAM while mining, and we know we're stressing it more than we would with gaming, but I think from a gamer's perspective, it's probably hard to take the number and know that while you're playing games, you're going to have lower temperatures. So, unless you are told that by someone credible. Great. Yeah, oh wow, this is really still very, well, I guess it was just as late last night. So this is A7000 from T-Global. And I actually believe, so I bought this container off of Amazon, but looking back, it appears to be the official T-Global store. So I believe it's real. But then, I don't know, I feel like I should still buy some from DigiKey just to be sure. It did pretty good. It's not a top contender performance-wise, but it's above middle of the pack, I would say. Oh, actually, I've got the chart. I'm just going to keep scooping this up. Let's see if I got the chart up here. Firefox, here we go. Rick, audio sounds great. Thanks, man. Yeah, I should have been using RTX or like NVIDIA Broadcast all along for all my audio capture. Man, looking back at some of my older videos, wow, the quality of audio is just not good. But Jesus Lord, DigiKey is DigiKey is king. Nice. The employees are really professional and helpful. Totally. Yeah, I've had to communicate with them a couple times with the orders and stuff, and like the benefit to DigiKey is that when you order it, sometimes it's showing up in like 2 days. So there was a commenter recently, it was yesterday or the day before, and they're going to be visiting the US, and they were like, hey, what putty should I get if I'm only there for a week? I'm like, oh, that's hard to answer because there's so many putties, but what can ship in a week? And yeah, you can get stuff from Amazon, but not all putties have like 2-day shipping with Prime or anything. So I thought, okay, I got to get some of these DigiKey putties tested. That's why we moved on to the A7000 last night. Now we're going back to U6 Pro. Hopefully I get it right this time. And then we'll go to some other DigiKey putties. I just dropped the roll of tower paper towel. Wow, guys, I'm hurting. I'm still waking up. I'm sorry. we're gonna go get through it here. This stuff is quite messy. It didn't scoop up as cleanly as the other putties. You know, I feel like I could still save more. I'm gonna get one more of these. Let's just going to go to the normal cleanup here. Taylor Sharp, thanks for joining the stream, buddy. You've been making a lot of these. Appreciate your presence, but also if you ever feel like you got other stuff to do, you're not beholden or anything. But I appreciate all you guys showing up. Rick, DigiKey, and Mauser are my go-to stores for components. Yeah, Mauser's good too. In fact, Mauser's had better prices on a couple of the putties than DigiKey has. I'd have to double check the shipping time on the stuff I got from Mauser. I think it was also fairly quick. I mean, they mostly deal with customers in the industrial and probably commercial applications. So I think they're used to short lead times and shipping's no issue. And I'm sure my orders look very puny to them compared to what most customers spend on a single order. But yeah, this A7000. Oh, I just realized I'm still on the test chart. Wow. You guys have had a good look at that. Let's look at the chart here for a split second. So yeah, A7000 currently in third place of what I've tested so far, basically matching, almost perfectly matching Zezio, just slightly behind it. You know, that's so negligible. If I had to pick between Zezio and A7000, I'd probably go, ooh, it depends on how much I was buying. A small amount, I'd go Zezio or A7000 if you can get it on Amazon for like 20, 30 grams in a container. But if you're buying bulk, I'd have to look at the price again. Might come down to price. But my gut says most people would trust getting something from DigiKey over AliExpress. So, okay, let's go back to the overview cam here. You guys can also check that chart out. We're calling it X, Twitter, or Reddit. And if you guys aren't aware, I made the folder of at least the screenshots of this chart available and listed on my YouTube channel. It's actually the first link. So if you go and click on my channel, it'll be the first link available, and you can actually go back and look at, maybe let's do that. Just so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's go to YouTube. I need to set up some bookmarks to make this faster, but you guys will get the idea. So if you go to right here, this link here, if you click on here, then any idea why the second razor cam looks more crispy than the overhead? Yes, it's got to be the angle of light. I should change the angle of light a little bit. But so let's look at this folder here. Owner hidden. Okay, well, that's interesting. I don't know why that would need to show that, but oh, I don't know. That's weird. I mean, it's on my Sparks domain Gmail account, so it wouldn't really matter. Here's all the charts that you guys can see. So you can go back and look, well, at previous results, and I'll probably make more folders or like a better structure within a short link. And right now I'm just showing ETH results. But we are going to go and do Furmark stuff. I'll make a Furmark chart, I'll make a Kapow chart, and then you guys have more results to go off of. So, what we got? I got to catch up on comments, guys. I feel Man, I can't think of words right now. I feel like I need to read every single comment just because I really appreciate you guys stopping by, and makes it feel like the content I'm making is somewhat valuable. So it's just awesome. Jesus, yes, sir. Snarks, you forgot the Reddit page on screen. Oh, yeah. That's on the... Oh, I mean, you caught that before I did. It took me a while. I should have read the comments. Thanks for the heads up. I appreciate that. I wish I had seen that. Do 2-3 things at the same time. Engage with you guys. Clean a video card, but wow, I'm doing a horrible job at it right now. Okay, I'm going to focus on the video card for just a little bit here, and I will catch up on comments in a bit. You know, this stuff is just, it doesn't want to stick to... Feels like it's just stuck on with like static or something. It's interesting. I don't think that means it's a bad putty. You know, if judging by the results, they're pretty decent. This could be a good option for someone who wants to do 100, video cards or accelerator cards. I wonder what they do for data center cards that are going at like 300-400 watts. Maybe more. Some of those accelerator cards are pretty intense nowadays. Like those Hopper GPUs. H100s, I think. It's over a nice cup of coffee. Yeah, it's a French press right over the video card. Yeah, Code String. Hey, how's it going, Code String? Yes. So Evan Bunch, I prefer Mauser because they're very close to me. Yeah, I mean, that would, that's a good reason. Actually, I should look at DigiKey locations and stuff. I've just been engaging with them as an online entity. I haven't even looked where they're actually located in Canada. Maybe they have a couple different locations, probably like Eastern Canada and Western Canada, I assume. Stuff is just really tenacious. It's not difficult to move around. It's like a leaf on the wind. It blows where the wind's going, but somehow it wants to stay on the card. So, Taylor, you were asking again. Sorry. Let's go up first. Any plans? How's it going? To test the UX Pro on the... Yes. Yeah, that's going to be very soon. And we'll also get EVGA up there. I feel compelled to test out more DigiKey putties in the next day or so here. Try and get through them, the ones that I have. For a couple of reasons, but mostly because I've got a viewer that's visiting the US in like a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, I think. They're there for a short time and they want to know if they should order one putty or another. And I was like, I'm in the midst of testing. I actually don't know what to say, which one would be best. Lots of options, but it has to ship quickly. But then they realized that they can also just get stuff from AliExpress and ship it to their home country. So it's not a huge rush, but I still do want to test out these DigiKey and Mauser type putties, which Pentium is included in as well. You got the Pentium TH930, 855-5, and 949-1 are also available on DigiKey. Sometimes they're not available in Canada, and other times they are. Spoken with them, and they were trying to work on that. I guess like Canada's got all sorts of like strict regulations and red tape to go through and processes. I'm sure each country does, but also the market would be smaller in Canada. So, you know, from a business perspective, it's not as pressing to likely get everything in order for a smaller market like that, as opposed to the US, which is obviously a much larger market for just about everything. Everything except snow tires and snowmobiles. We'd probably buy more of those in Canada. Pretty funny if we didn't. Code string. Taylor Sharp. Any idea why the Razor cam looks more crisp than overhead? I think I already addressed that. I think it is the light angle, and I'm hoping that's improved. I might have to play around with lighting at some point and just make it better than it is, because I have noticed it's not the perfect setup. At least it doesn't look perfect on screen. So I'm trying to make things better gradually, including our audio filters that we played around with last night using the NVIDIA broadcast. So it's just really... I think I need to get an ultrasonic cleaner. Then you guys wouldn't get to see me struggle cleaning cards, so maybe it wouldn't be as fun. See here, code string. It's crazy to think that some of the putty compounds one can find when it comes to cooling. UX Pro in my laptop has been real solid. Nice. And appreciate the work you put in this. It's some real helpful and unique content. Thanks, man. It's pretty niche, obviously. And I will probably add in a few other things. I'm not just going to test like Putty's bad shims, but I'm not going to stray far from, like, I'm not going to go outside of computer stuff with this channel. I mean, I could do knife making, but that would just be silly. It's completely different content, and although it is interesting, it's not the same audience necessarily. Sometimes it is. If I were to do another channel, I would do just that, keep things separate and fairly tidy. But I don't have time to work on knives right now. I got to get these putties tested, so do car stuff. I got way too many hobbies. I could do lead casting. It's a phase change material if you heat it up enough. Baudiak, thanks for checking the stream. Yeah, you see the coffee now. Yeah. It's tasty stuff. It's actually just McDonald's coffee. McDonald's bought the bean contract from Tim Hortons. Well, they outbid Tim Hortons, or basically Tim Hortons got bought out by Burger King, from what I understand. And to the best of my knowledge, they were trying to save money and decided to get rid of the coffee beans they were using, which is pretty stupid if you ask me, because Tim Hortons grew in Canada because their coffee and donuts. They didn't have sandwiches back in the day. It was just coffee and donuts and muffins. That was it. And that's how they build a multi-billion, I assume, business, and they decided to change the coffee beans. And McDonald's went in there and was like, swoop, I'll take that. And now the McDonald's coffee, in my opinion, is better than Tim Hortons. So it's pretty funny how that works. Cyberman, yes, I actually did watch that video of the, was it Cooling Monster channel? Interesting channel. I'm probably going to buy some of their thermal paste and maybe some of those wipes for testing. So when we do the thermal paste tests, then something from them. I did watch that laptop video. So in that video, the guy that repasted that laptop didn't change or do it. Well, if I'm remembering the correct video, because I watched a few of his last night, he didn't change or do anything with the putty. He didn't even reshape it, which I usually recommend. But there wasn't lots there, so so I don't know if your laptop is still assembled and has the putty in there, or if you've removed the putty. But if it's still there and it's still assembled, I would just reuse the same stuff with your PTM application. Or if you want to switch it out to a different putty, that's also an option. You know what I should do? I got to think about it for a bit, but I should set something up where if some of you guys have like laptops or cards or something where you find a thermal putty and you decide to swap it out and you got the old putty, and maybe it would be worthwhile for me to set something up where people could send their used thermal putty from a specific device, and then we could test it to see what the OEM's performance of putty is. It'd be interesting. Could also do it with pads, I guess, but I feel like I'm not as worried about the pads. The putty would be interesting to test out. Justin Vasquez, you're laughing at something, but I don't know what it is. Taylor Sharp, looks like those H100 GPUs are using NVIDIA white hybrid pads. Yeah, those things are brutal. I think they're kind of like putty pads held together with rubbers. Yeah, it looks like a Band-Aid. Feels like a Band-Aid. Like a Band-Aid stuck on your finger after a couple days. One of those like mesh ones. And I mean, it doesn't quite feel like that, but they're not good. I actually have a bunch of those from a few cards, and I could totally test that stuff out on this card. Or once I get around to revamping the hot plate test, we could test stuff out that way too. Okay, this is not perfect by any means, but it's gonna have to be just a bit more here. Yeah, I should either get an ultrasonic cleaner or get access to one. I know a guy that makes them. I think I just answered my question. That's what I should do, is just be like, hey, can I order a ultrasonic tank off of you for these sizes, give them some dimensions and give them a couple months, and then yeah, I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna get an ultrasonic cleaner just so I can do a deep clean every so often. Right. DigiKey Distro Center is Minnesota. Well, that's really close to southwestern Ontario, so if I was out east, it'd be awesome. Jesus, Lord, take care, gentlemen. I pray you all have a wonderful weekend. Snark, God bless. Thanks, Jesus. I hope you have a great weekend as well. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry if I didn't catch you in time before you left. So, Taylor Sharp, maybe it's just the resolution with the cams. They look similar detail when blown up. Okay. The white balance looks different, though. Yeah. Cloudiac, how do I watch? I do watch a lot of knife making. Yeah, I'll have to consider doing something with knives at some point. So I don't make the blades of the knives. I don't have the time and space to set up a forge or otherwise and like make the blades. So I buy blades from Hella, which is Norway, or Heli, I should say. Or it's the brand of the blades. I was going with the Temagami triple laminated with stainless on the two outside layers and high carbon in the center. Now they just changed their steel to, I don't know if it's laminated anymore, but it's all stainless steel. And the one they're using still has good edge retention, I guess, but is slightly more brittle. But, and then I resin stabilize, ideally spalted maple, using cactus juice, which is our heat stabilized resin I could buy from the US somewhere. And then you bake that. Well, you vacuum pump it in for 24 hours, then you release vacuum and it sucks all the resin back into place. And then I make the handles out of a single piece. I don't do two pieces of wood on either side of the blade. It's just all one piece with a slot cut down the middle. And then there's 3 brass pins I put in and 2-part epoxy in place. Makes really nice, very rugged handles. Also makes them a little heavier. Why don't you use isopropyl to clean this fast? Yeah, I mean, I guess I could have used the my spray bottle instead, and then with just isopropyl, rather than doing the dipping in the cap. But yeah, I'll have to do that next time. Save some time. Commander Bob, thanks for checking out the stream. I second that. Not seen anyone else do testing of putties at all, so your reviews are much appreciated. Thanks, man. Personally, I've stopped trying to find the correct thickness of pads and use putty instead now. One of us. All right, guys, we've got U6 Pro. Already did this application, what, 2 days ago? Was that yesterday already? Yeah. Anyways, we're going to redo it. But I'm going to talk about it for a split second before I do. So we'll do the overhead. When applying to a strip like this, right, you don't stop at the edge. And that's what I probably did the day before with all these strips. You got to go past a little bit, because as it's compressing down, it wants to spread out, but it also will spread out the end. And the more putty that spreads out the end prevents that tip of it from being as wide. It'll be more narrow and tapered. which you guys can kind of see in that last A7000 stream at the start there. So we're going to go start on this side and go all the way a little bit past and snip it off there using one of the spreaders. And we'll do that and hopefully get better contact and more trustable results. So I loaded this up with quite a bit of putty for last night's stream, and it's the more putty you put in the syringe, the harder it is to squeeze, so just keep that in mind. When I confirmed the nozzle size, they've all been 6 millimeter plus or minus 0.05 of a millimeter, so works for me. Suppose if I bought a little bit more U6, I could justify putting it in a piping bag. I didn't do a weigh-in here, but it's going to be that, was it like 13 grams or something like that? I'm using a little bit extra this time. It's probably closer to 15 grams of putty. This is where I got to make sure it connects with the board so it doesn't fall off. This stuff is not as sticky as some of the other putties, so don't want to cover up that screw hole. Right. Some green thermal putty from my Xbox Series S, also used in the, excuse me, sorry for coughing, guys. Interesting. That would that'd be interesting to find out what that stuff is. There's, I think, one or two. Well, there's definitely A7000 is green, but I'm trying to think if there's other ones. Evan Bunch, thanks for checking out the channel. Or you were probably already on the stream early. When you begin paste testing, you will be testing the myriad of alternatives. Yeah. Indium foil, yeah, I should probably get some of that too. I'll be testing like everything that people would use for a core contact solution, whether it's ETM or liquid metal. I'll probably do it in batches, kind of like I'm doing all the putties, and I'll do all the pads and all the shims. It's easier to just work through one category at a time. I can't imagine going from putty to pad to putty to pad. I'd have to like, yeah, we'll do all the putties, do a really good deep clean of the card, and then do all the pads. But I'm probably going to test out liquid metal and the LMTG 100. So I know there's lots of people curious to see what its performance is like, and I did receive some free samples of the LMTG 100. So we took a look at that stuff on the first stream, but didn't actually. That's the right screw. This is why we always do these alignment screws first. I mean, they do more than aligning, but sorry guys, I'm just going to take a peek here. Nice ultrasonic cleaners for electronics use a sweeping frequency generator to prevent hot spots. I've heard that some ultrasonic cleaners can damage PCBs. That's a good point. I should look into what type of why I'm struggling here. So I'm going to take a peek. Running a forge is a mission. Yeah. You can. Yeah, like I would love to someday, if I ever buy an acreage and have a chunk of land I can play around with, I'll probably build all sorts of projects, but I'd probably have to retire to use them all. But those Hella blades are really nice. They got a Scandinavian grind, so they're very easy to sharpen on my Naniwa water stones. But I've also got a diaplat lapping plate, which I think you guys probably saw when if you watched how to make shims, I use to flatten my water stones with. But yeah, those Scandinavian grind blades like the Moras and the Hellas, they're pretty easy to sharpen, but they take time because you're taking off. If you've got a notch in the blade, you've got a long time to get down to that notch level. It's not perfectly even. That's okay. I think it'll be alright. Let's see if what's happening with the music. Here. So there's some background noise. What do you guys think of this playlist? This is different than the first ones I was using for the first streams. This one's from licked.com, where you have access to actual, well, no, I shouldn't say artists, but like more popular music, like which premium stuff you can pay extra for. I just got I don't know, it's like a $15 a month subscription to have access to quite a few. So I'm just using that cheaper list right now. Cloudyak. I love Spalted Maple. Did woodworking in high school and loved it. Yeah, it's a really beautiful wood to work with. My dad is a carpenter, and they did someone's kitchen counter, like all the countertops in sheets of spalted maple, which is just crazy. And it turned out awesome. And they had some scraps left over, so he bought them off of the woodworking shop, and I think he basically gave them to me. Yeah. So I have like 7 or 8 blocks that are the right size for knife handles. Okay, we'll do these last 3 screws. Grant Hampson, how's it, y'all? Looking forward to all these uploads, testing results. Thanks, man. If you're just tuning in now, there's a folder of the test results. Well, just the charts, just the ETC hash chart on my YouTube channel that you can go check out. And I'll just keep dropping them in there, and at least that link won't change. So, and I'll probably keep posting them on Reddit and Twitter as well. But yeah, you can. I mean, it's probably just as easy to find them from a YouTube channel. You go back and look at my historical. I'm not going to delete the previous charts. We're just going to keep them in keep them dated, and that way people can, I don't know. I feel it's important to have that. You guys can see like last time something was modified probably or uploaded. I think it would say if it was modified, so just for posterity, that way you guys know nothing fishy's going on. Evan Bunch, you might want to save liquid metal and icy diamond for last, as they can affect the surfaces of silicone and cold plate. Liquid metal should just be cosmetic, but diamond paste will abrade the surface. Yeah. I'm probably going to, initially I'm probably just going to do the liquid metals on the CPU. So I've got an AMD 5900X, and I've got a Noctua U12S cooler that's nickel plated. Both of them are. So I'll probably do the liquid metal testing on that and not the GPU right off the hop. Trying to think if I'll do it on this Jeep. I probably should, but I don't know. I might icy diamond with abrasion. Yeah, I'll still have to do it, and that's what paste is for, right? Those little microscopic scratches on the surface. That's the whole purpose of all of our thermal interface materials that are, well, for core specific ones anyways. Grant Hampson, I have UX Pro Ultra, which I plan, excuse me, on using on my Tough 4090 with the Barrow water block and a 3090 shim 1.1 milliliter, but I will need to try get CAD files drawings from manufacturer. With a Barrow water block and a 3090 shim. Oh, so are you saying you're taking shims from a 3090 and you're going to use them in the 4090? So, I feel like Ghost Motley was mentioning that some of the 40 series VRAM gaps are 1.5 millimeter, which if they are, instead of like a 1.8, or sorry, they use that might not, maybe not the gap. The thermal pads they use might sometimes be 1.5 instead of 2, which would kind of put them in that 1.3 millimeter actual gap range. So I would be cautious and definitely measure the pads that come out of the 4090 when you're doing that. Well, plus you're doing a water block, so all that stuff kind of goes out the window because that might be custom cut and different gap thickness. So, but it probably could work if the gap size is similar to that 1.8. Oh, they're the same, yeah. Then you're probably okay. I mean, worst case scenario, if you put it together and run into core contact issues, you just take it back apart and then you'd be good to go. Sure why my test bench, I'll have to look at that. Anyways, I've got the card back together. I'm eager to get this back on the test bench now, so I think we're just going to wrap it up here in a few minutes. If you guys have any last questions or comments. Grant Hampton, I'm also getting PCM1 that I will use on the core. Nice. Sorry, I can't read some comments out of order. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. But yeah, I think that's it for this stream. Oh wait, James Davies, a friend, got a 3090 from another friend that had a good amount of hours in it. Would U6 Pro and PTM be a good match for it? Yeah, definitely. 3090s are they're always, well, in my mind, they're probably going to be one of the hottest consumer cards that we have, just with those 12 GDDR6X running at, what was it, 21 gigabits per second, megabits per second, and not having active cooling on the backplate. So if you run into issues with that, you could add some shims in there. So all right, guys, thanks for coming. Reference 3090. Yeah. That should be a good match. Thanks again for coming out for the stream, and I'll probably stream later on. What do we got? We're at 1 p.m. now. Got at least 8 hours, 7-8 hours. So maybe in 7-8 hours from now, whatever time zone is, I'll probably be back on, and we'll go for another. I guess we'll do UX Pro tonight. Get that out of the way, and then move on to the DigiKey putties, and then I'll go back to like KPT 8, and we'll get some K5 Pro in there at some point, and I'll even do MG Chemicals 860, JE 8100. There's a few more, but okay, you guys have a good one. I'll catch you guys later.